What's going on, everyone? It's Top of Owner reporting for the Staten Island Advance. This is another edition of Together SI Business Spotlight. And today joining us is Sharmila Tucker. I want to get her title just right, so I'm going to take a look. Executive Director for the Staten Island Not-for-Profit Association of Staten Island, which functions for the community organizations active in disaster. So let's have her join us right now. Sharmila, how are you? And how did I do right there with naming you and your title?
Perfect. Sounds good. Nice to see you, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. And yes, it's awesome to have you. All right, Sharmila. So with that being said, your title and the organizations, tell us about yourself. You've had quite the whirlwind of a past 7 months. Then again, we all have. All these spotlights are about that. But you have a unique story, Sharmila. Share a little bit about your background with SINFPA and what's been going on the past few months.
So while I'd been working with the association in a part-time capacity with the community organizations active in disaster for the past year, I was appointed executive director in January, late January, right before all of this around COVID-19 started. So it has truly been a whirlwind as all of our activities have really shifted and pivoted to be around COVID-19 response and relief and support for our borough's non-for-profit.
That being said, what would you say has been the hardest obstacle to overcome once COVID hit, right? And quarantine took place for the months of March and April, and even some of May. Events were postponed, galas postponed that are big fundraisers for a lot of these not-for-profits. And we've spoken to many who have said their funds have been redirected elsewhere, right, Sharmila? How understandably so, many funds were directed towards the fight against this pandemic. What else have been the issues, Sharmila, the past few months or so?
So some of the biggest issues that we've seen our nonprofits really dealing with are how to interpret the guidance coming down from city, state, and federal agencies. So, of course, businesses and nonprofits somewhat function similarly, but many of our nonprofits are meeting the needs of our frontline needs of communities on the ground. And so there wasn't always one source of the correct information: CDC, City Department of Health, State Department of Health, the federal government. And so working with our nonprofits and our medical ecosystem, which is a subcommittee of the COAD, the Community Organizations Active in Disaster, we were really working hard to interpret the guidance and be a resource for our nonprofits and community organizations. So that, in addition to the funding and the lack of staffing, because people had to close their doors and some people didn't feel safe being at work with all of the unknowns, our organizations have been really trying to meet all the various requirements being put upon them. In the beginning of the pandemic, of course, during it, and now as we're starting to reopen, we're still dealing with mixed messages.
There's a lot of messaging going on out there and unclear of how to approach many different types of businesses, including the nonprofits, which many of which serve those with special needs, which is another facet of this that you have to take into consideration, right? When having people either on site again, and that could be a while. Speaking of, at the time of this recording, we're in a phase 4, a modified phase 4. Some things have been taken back and peeled away as far as allowance of having people on site or in person. What do you foresee, Sharmila, being the issues moving forward? Much of the same, it certainly sounds like, but some of the organizations are in a true struggle right now. And in the coming weeks and even the rest of the year, a lot of obstacles to overcome.
Indeed. And I want to say that unfortunately, the uncertainty is not going to go away. If we've seen anything over the last few months, the various guidance and the changing guidance and interpretation of those mandates, it's going to remain to some degree. I mean, we haven't yet had a decision on whether schools are going to open in what format. We're seeing the same thing for our aftercare programs, our day programs that serve many students and families. We are lucky that in Staten Island, some of our camps have opened up and they've been so far pretty successful. But the fall will bring perhaps a resurgence of COVID. And so we have to be prepared for what that's going to look like, which might be dialing back some of these reopening plans.
What else would you like people to know in regards to SINFPA and what you offer and what you're capable of and what you've done in the past?
Of course. Thank you for asking that question. So while the Staten Island Not-for-Profit Association's events have been currently, let's say, put on hold to convene live, we are doing a lot virtually. We continue to be a resource and a source for information and relief opportunities, funding opportunities, education and awareness for our nonprofits and beyond. We are a membership organization, and right now we are not only serving our members, we're serving everyone that needs us in Staten Island. We spend a lot of time advising groups, both those just starting and those that have been around for a long time. Like I said, there's a lot of information out there, and so we and our staff and our volunteers, our board of directors who've been incredible in supporting and mentoring me during this time, have been really amazing at helping craft the messages that make sense for our communities. Typically, we do a lot of networking. We have an annual meeting, we have an annual conference, we have a holiday gathering, we have multiple sessions a month where we provide in-person workshops to train and build the capacity of our nonprofits, from everything from HR resources to fundraising to board governance and board development. We're still doing that, but we're doing it virtually. So I want to ensure our communities that we are still here, and we are here to work in partnership with you. Our specifically community organizations active in disaster has been supplying PPE to our nonprofits and our healthcare organizations. And we are currently getting ready for what another uptick in cases will look like this fall. We've currently been working with our hospitals and our nursing homes, the group homes, to make sure that they are ready for what that looks like. And certainly, we can learn, we hope, from what we've experienced the last few months. I've seen our nonprofits, our leaders, our community organizations, and our grassroots organizers really take those obstacles and create opportunities from them. I think in a previous conversation, you said to me, new normal. And that may be true. This uncertainty, we don't know when we're going to go back to the way things were before March. And so our new reality is how we have to function now. And so we're here to support organizations figure out what that looks like, whether it means crafting a new fundraising plan, a new event program. And I am grateful for those that are trying these new, let's say, new ideas, because we're learning right now. And that's what this association is about. It's about sharing and learning together.
And that was going to be my last thing with 20 seconds to go, Sharmila. A positive silver lining, and I kind of think you hit on it, would be the coming together of everyone as a unit and being creative with taking on the obstacles head on. What's a good takeaway?
So resilience. We and our community here, families, individuals, our nonprofits, our leaders, we have been tested in a way that we haven't experienced before. And if I've seen anything, it's the ability to bounce back. Again, not like maybe what we looked like a few months ago. That to me is not only leadership and dedication, but it's resilience. It's the ability of our communities to take what is in front of them. And this is Staten Island. Staten Island rises, right? We've done it. We've been here before, similar situations, and we've come out. And so I want to say that the collaboration, the collective work we've been doing through our coalitions and through our community building is where the strength comes from. There's a quote I often use when I talk to people when we're doing this work in our community is, if you want to go fast, fine, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And that is exactly what I see our nonprofits doing right now. We certainly can do what we can from where we are with what we have. And if we do it together SI, I'm pretty confident that we'll get through this stronger than we were before.
She said it. She said together SI. That's great. Oh, thank you so much for incorporating that. But it's so true. And that's part of what this Business Spotlight is about, is we're all in this together, as you've demonstrated with all the people behind the scenes and the organizations working together. And so kudos to you and your team that have done such great work. And thank you so much for the time today, Sharmila.
Appreciate it. I'm honored to be on this show with you for all the incredible work you've done to support our nonprofits and help elevate the work that they're doing. We're grateful for that and the partnership that we have. Thank you.
We're all in this together, just like you said. All right, Sharmila, thank you so much. All right, so once again, thanks so much to Sharmila Tucker joining us again. She joins us as the executive director for the Staten Island Not-for-Profit Association, Staten Island, and of course, the community organizations active in disaster. To find out more about them and the organizations, including a great fall series of workshops that are coming up, log on to www.sinfpa.org or visit them online or Facebook. Plenty of information, a plethora of information she is. So be sure to contact them and to follow them on those social media channels. All right, that about wraps it up for this edition of Together SI Business Spotlight. My name is Tabavon, reporting for the Staten Island Advance. Looking forward to seeing you next time.